So a white dermatologist is suing the Find a Black Doctor directory claiming discrimination because he was excluded from being listed. When I tell you that I am physically exhausted from having to explain to willfully ignorant people that Black spaces are not about exclusion or discrimination, they're about survival and safety. When Black people seek out Black doctors or therapists or any form of care, we're thinking about ourselves. We're not thinking about you.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right, so in today's episode, you're going to be talking about a white doctor who is suing a Find a Black Doctor directory because, according to him, he says that he was discriminated against because he was a white doctor.
Right, and guys, just want to get your opinion on this. Do you think that this site is being racist, or do you think the doctor is valid in his complaints? Because personally, as for how I have understood the history of this website, it's for Black people to find doctors who are Black to help them with their medical issues because they don't always feel safe in going to white doctors. And also we've done several videos of people who are giving their experiences and accounts with white doctors, and Black people for the longest time have often felt like they're not usually 100% heard by white doctors when they go to complain about a certain medical issue.
Right, and guys, have you also heard about the saying, necessity is the mother of all inventions? Meaning, for such a website to exist, there was a necessity for it, right? And it was started by a Black woman doctor. But we don't want to talk a lot. Let's just watch what is happening and then we come back and talk about it. You can let us know your thoughts and opinion in the comment section. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch.
So a white dermatologist is suing the Find a Black Doctor directory claiming discrimination because he was excluded from being listed. When I tell you that I am physically exhausted from having to explain to willfully ignorant people that Black spaces are not about exclusion or discrimination, they're about survival and safety. When Black people seek out Black doctors or therapists or any form of care, we're thinking about ourselves. We're not thinking about you. It's not because we hate anyone. It's because the data literally keeps showing that racism in medicine is not getting any better. Like, I don't know how many times I have to say that, Black women, for example, in America are still 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women. And that Black patients are constantly reporting how they are ignored or undertreated for pain, or they're just dismissed altogether. How many studies do you need to show this? Directories like Find a Black Doctor exist because people are still racist, and they don't care whether we live or die. Black doctors make up, 5% of doctors in the United States? But we, as a demographic, account for 13% of the population. And the other thing is that so many of these white people filing these complaints immediately assume discrimination because that's the lens through which they've operated. But for marginalized communities, protective spaces have never been about you. It's literally about our safety. No one is trying to discriminate against white people or exclude white people when we have our spaces. White people's exclusion of us was based on stereotypes and lies. We just want safety. And honestly, if you're a white person that knows what you're doing, whether it's with Black hair or Black skin or whatever, Black people will hype you up. We hype up people for less. But you, Dr. Travis Morrell, in what world would I come to you to deal with my melanated skin, especially after you filing this lawsuit?
Y'all, a white Colorado dermatologist, Dr. Morrell here, and an anti-DEI medical group called Do No Harm are suing the creator of Find a Black Doctor, claiming the directory violates federal civil rights law by only listing Black physicians. The lawsuit was filed on May 19th in Manhattan Federal Court. Y'all, this directory is a resource that was created to help patients, particularly Black patients, find culturally competent care in a medical system that we all know has historically failed us. Do No Harm framed it as robbing doctors of advertising exposure. But what they're really doing, y'all, is using civil rights language to dismantle a tool built because of civil rights violations. This is the playbook they're using, y'all. Take the language of equity and flip it. Find a Black doctor isn't excluding any patients. It's not a hospital. It's not an ER. It's a directory built by Black people for Black people to solve a problem. And now someone is mad that they can't be listed in it.
They're calling the directory that helps Black patients find Black physicians neo-segregation. Let me tell you what actually was segregation. Medical schools that barred Black students, hospitals that refused to credential Black doctors, a system that intentionally, deliberately kept Black people out of medicine for generations. And now we're acting surprised that only 4% of practicing physicians are Black today. That number didn't happen by accident, it was built. And Find a Black Doctor exists because of what was built. It doesn't matter. Let me give you some data. There's a recent study that showed that when the attending physician was Black, the mortality gap between Black and white newborns in the NICU was cut in half. The difference is life or death. Black women are 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women. 3 times. And research shows that having a Black OBGYN or a midwife is directly linked to better communication, feeling heard during labor, and catching complications earlier. All things that keep mothers alive. If you're like me, I grew up never having a Black doctor, not once, and I didn't know what I was missing until I was older and finally understood what it means to sit across from someone who shares your culture, your history, your community, someone who you don't have to explain yourself before they believe you. That is not a preference, that is safety, and every person deserves that. We are living in a difficult timeline right now, but we cannot let lawsuits like this one succeed. Share this video, amplify the truth, send the Find a Black Doctor directory to your loved ones. This system was never built for us, so we need to build one for each other.
A white dermatologist is suing the website findablackdoctor.com after he says he was denied access to join the online directory. Dr. Travis Morrell and the conservative medical advocacy group Do No Harm filed a federal lawsuit May 19th claiming that the platform illegally discriminates against non-Black doctors by only allowing Black physicians and dentists to join. Dr. Morrell says he applied to be listed in December and didn't receive a response, even though he followed up via email months later. Now he argues that his application was rejected because he's white. The lawsuit alleges that the platform robs non-Black physicians of advertising exposure and promotes a false idea that patients receive better care from doctors of the same race. The founder of the platform, Dr. Dina Strawn, originally launched Find a Black Doctor in 2005 as a resource for Black people seeking culturally competent care from qualified Black physicians. It was relaunched in 2019 to help reduce racial health disparities and improve access to quality health care for Black communities. According to the website, having access to Black doctors has been shown to improve health outcomes, particularly for Black men. Critics, however, argued race-based directories violate civil rights laws. Is this a case of reverse racism or an attack on diversity, equity, and inclusion?
TikTok gave me an account strike because I reposted a video that was critical of white people. So this time I'm going to make a joke. Roses are red, facts are not contrarian.
If we think about which community in the United States has the highest degree of history of violence, that's unquestionably white Americans.
Now, cousins, you need to hear what I'm about to tell you because this affects every single thing that we want to do to build community moving forward. Edward Bloom is behind the Colorado dermatologist suing findablackdoctor.com. What do I mean by behind? It's his law firm, Consovoy McCarthy. I have made multiple videos talking about this guy. It is his law firm working with Do No Harm to file this lawsuit against the free resource of findablackdoctor.com. If you take a look at the filing that they sent over to court, you'll see that paragraph 46 literally cites the 2024 case against the Fearless Fund. And the reason why is because precedent is the engine. If he is able to win this, or if they settle, he is going to have legal precedent that will allow him to go after free resource listings. So if you're somebody who's like, hey, here are some Black-owned businesses in your neighborhood, then they would have legal grounds to be able to come after you using the same argument because nobody ever wants to fight these people. And when I say fight, I'm talking about legally, because I know some of you are really literate, and so I need to put that disclaimer out there. After reading through the motion that they filed against this particular website, I would like to call out 3 particular contradictions that I find to be pretty interesting. The first contradiction that I want to point out in their motion relates to their advertising exposure theory that they start talking about in paragraph 5, where they say that the contractual benefit is, quote, valuable advertising exposure to and potential opportunities to work with new patients. The contradiction comes in paragraph 35, where they state that the directory, quote, lists only 3 doctors in all of Colorado, none in Grand Junction, none in dermatology statewide. Paragraph 35 and paragraph 5 conflict each other because they literally point out that there is no market for him to be exposed to, and keep in mind this individual is listed on every single directory and resource across national and state levels.
Know why it's needed. We have all heard the horror stories of black women going to the doctor or hospital, especially when it comes to maternal health care, and being misdiagnosed or having their symptoms ignored because of archaic beliefs about black people just wanting drugs. We also know that black men have better health outcomes when they have black doctors. So why would somebody want to mess with that? Well, a group called Do No Harm and Dr. Travis Morrell believe that it discriminates against white people. Dr. Travis Morrell says that he meets all the criteria except for race, and that's discriminatory. So we're suing. Now, I would say to findablackdoctor.com, you know what? Settle the lawsuit. Say, no, you can come on our page. And why would I do that? Because all the listings look like this. People would quickly see that Dr. Morrell is white, and he's a dermatologist. So if I'm a black man who suffers from razor bumps, I'm not going to a white dermatologist. No disrespect, but I want somebody who understands my issue and has probably suffered from it. If I'm a black woman suffering from alopecia or other skin diseases, I want somebody who already understands my skin and how it's different from white people's skin. That's not being discriminatory. That's wanting to get the best care that you can get. And also there are issues with historical issues with black people not trusting doctors. So we need people that look like us that make us feel comfortable. Now, I would like to know what you think about my solution of just selling the lawsuit and letting Dr. Morrell on. Or do you think that findablackdoctor.com should fight this all the way to the end? All right, y'all. Goodbye, and God bless.
A platform designed to help black patients find black doctors is being sued by a white dermatologist who says him not being on it is racist. He's partnering with a nonprofit organization that calls themselves a group of concerned citizens trying to keep politics out of medicine. But if political power hadn't been used to deny healthcare based on race, there would be no need for a black doctor directory in the first place. We already know how the US Public Health Service gave 600 black men syphilis and let some of them die for a secret experiment. The father of modern gynecology developed his methods by hacking at the bodies of black women in slavery with no anesthesia for their surgeries. Recent studies have found that a significant amount of medical students still believe that black people feel less pain and have thicker skin. Plus, black women are 3 times more likely to die from complications during pregnancy. Anybody attacking resources like the Black Doctor Directory is not thinking about equality. It's about forcing people to endure bigotry.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about the videos you just played. You know, as I said in the introduction, necessity is the mother of all inventions, and it's just last year the cases are still fresh. When I can remember, 2 cases went viral of black women who are going into labor, right? And the first case that stands out distinctively was the one that the lady was on a wheelchair, right? And she was almost giving birth, and the white nurse who was checking her in was very nonchalant about it. She was very unbothered. This woman was in pain. She was giving birth, and she could have as well have given birth on that wheelchair because that nurse was not. She didn't care, you know. And after this case went viral, the nurse got exposed for similar behaviors with the black
she was a
patients.
serial offender when it came to black patients.
Right.
And the second case that went viral was of a woman who was taken to hospital by her husband, a black woman, right? And she said she was about to go into labor, but her white doctors and nurses did not listen to her. Instead, they turned her away, and she ended up giving birth on the road in her truck with her husband's help, you know. And this happened because her white doctors did not listen to her. That case also went viral. And I do remember there is also another case of a black American man who had a medical emergency, right? That went viral where I don't know if it was himself who called the police or he called 911 for help when he was driving and he felt like something was wrong. And when the police got there, they arrested him instead of getting him medical help and took him to prison, right? And when he finally passed out is when they took him to the hospital and the medical staff told them that he was having a seizure, And then there is also another case just last year that went viral of a white nurse who called police on a black man saying that the black man refused to do drug tests because she suspected he was high on something, but the man was about to have a heart attack.
Oh my goodness, those are the worst case scenarios. And you see, these are things that are happening, and then you ask yourself, how prevalent is such cases in the community where you have more of white doctors, right? And also, that is followed up by a question: was this website created in order to discriminate white doctors? No, because already as it is physically, you already have
Nowhere
enough
to get them.
institutions that host majority white doctors, yeah? And my question to that doctor who is suing this black organization that is truly trying to help their community is, already there are existence of spaces that do accept white doctors. Are you not good enough to go and enroll there or apply there? Because for you to come and find something good that is going on, if you genuinely want to help, then you have to give them a reason why they should allow you in. Don't sue your way into those doors, right? You're not the marginalized group. You don't come from a marginalized group. The first step you have to take is understand the struggles of which these marginalized groups are coming from, right? And then there, from your understanding, is when you should be able to educate yourself better. Otherwise,
and not only educate yourself better, but try to put measures to make things better in order for black patients to feel as safe with you as they feel with these black doctors that they go to look for in that directory.
And so for such a website to be even created, it's because there's a lot of prevalence with these cases that are happening, because these are just the cases that went viral just last year. There are many more that we have not heard of, that or maybe have not reported or that were ignored. Because I also remember another case where a white nurse was arrested because she had finally been caught and she was charged with,
This is a baby's leg. She was
so you can tell me exactly why don't you think such organizations exist? Because at the end of the day, we've gotten testimonies of black women who are quite a marginalized community.
And not only black women but also
black men, and they've said reasons why they need to go with their loved ones to the hospital is because there's systemic racism that needs to be addressed, where black people are not really treated. There's this notion that black people are strong, and there's this notion that there's just, you guys, you know what I'm talking about when I talk about systemic medical racism. We talk about pain meds and what is the stereotype that is attached to that, right? And then you look at how even the two groups are treated and ask yourself, is such a website not necessary to be created? Because if people don't feel safe enough to go to the hospital because they don't want to go and meet a white doctor because of how they are treated, consequently, don't you think these people at the end of the day, they need to go somewhere for medical help? And this good doctor found out that market gap, and she decided to create this. And it's not only just being created out of profit, but it's been created to make an impact and also to help those people who feel like exactly they're not well understood.
They go to white doctors. And right now I cannot help but think, is the only reason this person is doing this because he feels like these types of black doctors were registered in that directory? Does he feel like they're taking away his part of the cake? Does he feel like they're taking away what could have been his own money by taking away the black patients? Because I really don't understand his logic in suing this organization.
Literally, this is a space like black people can't have it. This is a space where black doctors have created in order to meet their black patients.
Impact white people in
like that,
way.
Yeah.
It's like strictly just a black people space.
Right. There are things that I really think I'm just gonna go easy, but it's giving he wasn't good enough to go and compete, in the real space where he
learned
white doctor fellows.
Peers. So he wants to
his
try
peers.
So he wants to try his
Forcefully.
luck with the only place where the color of his skin can give him advantage before he opens his mouth.
Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this episode because we'd really like to hear from you. And, the same energy that this doctor used to cry and claim discrimination, I feel like if white people used that same energy a long time ago, and if they really had and listened to black people, we wouldn't be here because black people have been going through this, what he claims he's going through. But for black people, it's decades upon decades, and it's a system that still really, truly holds them down, and prevents them from getting ahead. So you, for the first time, you're going into a space that was didn't have you in mind when they were creating that space. Not like that, at least they were trying to help themselves because that was a necessity, and then you're coming here to center yourself into that project and you want to be the main character. It doesn't work like that. I feel like just go out there and compete fairly in spaces that you already have, instead of coming here and finding something that belongs to a certain community, and it's not like a lot of them exist. This is a place where they've created to help themselves, each other, and also you want to come and destroy that. Like, what is that? Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this episode. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here, and we'll catch you on our next episode. Thank you so much for always tuning in. And guys, road to 200,000 subscribers.
Right.
Share the videos, share with your family, your friends, and also we appreciate those ones who have already subscribed. You guys, from our day ones to those ones, the new family members who are joining in, we want to say thank you very much for always supporting our work here.